Thank you for joining us for another episode of Berry Law Firm Live. I am Jessica Parker, the Veteran Support Director here at Berry Law, and I'm also a military spouse. I'm here with Sarah. Sarah is an intake specialist with the firm, and she's also a prior service Marine. Today we're going to be discussing kind of the process that we do for appeals as far as our intake is concerned at the firm.
Okay, so one of the first questions that any prospect calls in and asks is, what paperwork do we need initially to review their appeal?
Yeah, so usually there's only a few documents we need to kind of get started to give us the best way forward, you know, what we think we can do with your case. We can get a lot of that information off of your DD-214, especially if you have multiples of those, and your decision letter. So a decision could be a standard rating decision from like your regional office. Those you have 1 year to appeal. We have statements of the case that come in. Those you have 60 days to appeal or 2 months. And then you can get a board decision if you've already had your case seen before the board. And then once those come in, you've got 120 days to appeal those. Those are the first things we need to look at to kind of see where we can go.
Okay. And why do you need my DD-214?
Well, your DD-214 is going to have a lot of stuff on it that could be helpful. Like if you were exposed to Agent Orange, it may prove that you were, boots on the ground in Vietnam, and kind of what your job might have entailed. If you paroled, a perimeter, or it can also, tell me if you've got any combat pay, like if you had any hazardous duty pay, things like that. All of that will be outlined in your DD-214, and that's also why it's important for you to send us all of them so we can see every job you had while you served.
Okay. So we also have a lot of veterans who want to send us everything that they have, all of the records, medical records, military records, everything. They always ask, will the rating decision letter really be enough to review?
Initially, the decision letter is enough to review. It's not going to be enough moving forward, of course. We're going to need all the information. But the the rating decision letter generally tells us whatever the claim is for, why the VA decided what they did. If you have maybe a poor exam, or if you don't meet a certain disability threshold for the condition, any of those things will be outlined. And to us, it's kind of like a red flag. We know, okay, well, this was obviously handled improperly, and then at that point, we would request anything else that you have, medical records from the VA. If you go to a private doctor, all those things are things that we're going to request from you and the VA.
Okay. So when you get a rating decision letter from the VA, you only get 1 year to appeal. So my next question is, what if it is past a year?
Okay, so yeah, on a standard decision, you've got a year. A statement of the case, again, you've got 2 months, and then you've got 3 months for board decisions. Not 3 months. That's 120 days on the board decisions. So basically, if it's gone past that point, it's kind of like starting over. You have to go back to your either veteran service officer, your DAV rep, whomever you're most comfortable with. Generally, I tell people to go back to their veteran service officer and reopen their claim. Usually, at least I'm from a really small town in Tennessee, and our veteran service officer is within the courthouse right next to our catfish statue, so it's pretty easy to find. But if you're not cozy with them, you can go to a DAV or anybody else, reopen the claim. But yeah, you have to start over. You have to reopen your claim, and then at that point, the VA will issue you a new decision, and then we can look at it. We're more than happy to look at it at that point.
Okay. And then how do the attorneys get paid?
So we don't charge anything up front. We do work on a contingency basis. So if we take on your case and we file an appeal, we don't, of course, charge anything out of your monthly after we win the appeal. But if we win the appeal, you'll get a back pay, and we would charge a percentage out of that.
Okay. And then what if we don't win the case for some reason?
If we don't win, we don't get paid.
Okay.
So.
All right. We also have a lot of veterans that they're concerned about the fact that we don't have an office in their city or their location.
For us, it's not a huge deal. The distance it's not a problem. We can represent veterans nationwide, so it really, as long as you're comfortable with having an attorney and a representative that's not in your city and state, the distance is not a problem.
Okay.
So, okay, well, thank you guys again for tuning in to Berry Law Firm Live. If you have any questions, you feel like you need assistance with a VA claim, give us a call, 888-883-2483.